outside on this Thursday. But you already know, as I say, each and every week we have the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. And when I tell you, even though it's cold outside, baby, they will make room for you. Listen, I hope you're having an amazing Thursday because, listen, what's happening, y'all? I love y'all so much for tuning in each and every week. Y'all already know it's your girl, Zsa Zsa. And I'm talking to you about protect your crown. Protect your crown. If you're tuning in, I'm talking about protect your crown. Because let me tell you something. Life will throw curveballs at you where you think people are going to protect you when you're going to have to learn to protect yourself. And this is one of my biggest, I wouldn't say pet peeves, but one of my biggest thought processes when it comes to certain relationships is I need to know that you're going to protect me in front of my face, and I know that you're going to protect me behind my back. Because if I feel like that you can't protect me behind my back, ain't no need for you being in my face. Okay? So if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about protecting your crown. Because although the crown you wear may be metaphorically, and it may not be an actual physical crown, we are all born into royalty. The Bible talks about we are royal priesthood. We are chosen generation. It talks about us being set apart. It talks about us being a peculiar people. Now, that only qualifies you if you have the same belief system. Now, if you don't got the same belief system, then listen, you doing you. That's all on you. But what I believe in is what I believe. And what I believe in is I believe in protecting my crown. My crown doesn't just mean the physical adornment of my head with jewels and all of that great stuff. It also means protecting my mind, protecting my soul, protecting my peace, protecting whatever is attached to me. And when a man loves a woman, he protects the woman that he's affiliated with, regardless if it's his mama, his wife, his sisters, his girlfriend, his homegirls. When a man finds value in the crown that a woman is wearing, guess what he does? He protects that crown that she wears. And it's the same thing vice versa. You ever met a woman who protects her son or her brothers or her man or her father? These are the type of crowns that these men have built up. Now, there are some people who anticipate you protecting their crown and they ain't did nothing to protect yours. And see, we live in a season where everybody is so super sensitive, but ain't nobody paying attention to what's being set up in our world. And I think when it comes to the judicial system, when it comes to the community leaders in our community, we know what the interest is that they are protecting and what they tell us that they are protecting. See, it's one thing for you to say you protect your assets, and it's one thing for you to walk away from liabilities until you actually see people actually protecting their assets. See, one of the reasons why the Black vote and Black people are so prevalent and so important to the white supremacy community is the fact that we are creative, we have influence. We are innovators. We make something out of nothing. And so when you're dealing with a community that understands their value, or you have a community that doesn't understand their value, you're easily hoodwinked and bamboozled. This is why when there are certain things placed in media, we find ourselves running like chickens with our heads cut off because now they done told us, oh, it's a shortage here, or it's a something going on here. And see, this is the thing about having faith. This is the thing about protecting your crown. When you protect your crown, you're protecting what's in between these ear gates, what's behind these eye gates, what's behind this heart gate. Because when you protect it, you don't allow stuff to be in your spirit. See, I had to learn to filter some people out, and I also had to learn to filter some conversations out. Because if these conversations are not privy to where I need to go, then I'm not protecting my peace. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody you ain't had nothing to do with nothing they was talking about, but you found yourself being upset after the conversation? You they done told you about all of what they had going on and how this person did this to them and how this happened. And now you find yourself boiling. This don't got nothing to do with me. Why am I so upset? But this is one of the things that you have to learn in your journey to protect your crown. See, I also had to be okay with who I am. See, a lot of people are out here falsifying, perpetrating fraud. They out here giving you sugar when it's supposed to be cocaine. Y'all already know. Yeah, I said it before. I take it back. I'm gonna add more to it. Y'all know y'all heard me the first time. Listen, and if you're tuning in, I'm talking all about protect your crown. Because at the end of the day, there are so many people who don't understand the value and who they are as individuals. Before you can say I am a Black woman or I'm a Black man with pride, you got to understand and value that. You have to walk in that light of being proud of who you are. James Brown had a song, it was called I'm Black and I'm Proud. And we're still celebrating Black History Month. And I don't know about you, but it seems and feels a little different than years and times past. I don't know if it's because in times past we weren't combating COVID, we weren't combating all of these other legal issues. But I feel as a Black woman real disrespected in Black History Month. We have had multiple deaths, murders against our own kind. We've had a multitude of scandals from other ethnicities. There's a whole nother state official who was sleeping with an underage girl. The feds came to their house the other day, but you don't see them blasting that on the 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock news. They gave it a small little snippet. But when it was us doing some dirt, when it came to the political world and the judicial system and the legislator, oh, they have a whole thread about us. They have a whole news segment about us. And so when it comes to certain situations, we got to know our value. And not only do we have to know our value, but we are responsible. What did I say? Responsible for teaching it to the next generation. You don't get to hold on to all the knowledge and all the info, and then you know that you are supposed to be inputting and pouring and empowering other individuals with that same knowledge. I talk to young people all the time. I see them all the time, whether I'm getting paid to speak or I'm just speaking off the dome or out of my heart. Because at the end of the day, if your knowledge is only predicated to the dollar attached to it and associated with it, then you're never going to be blessed. See, God is going to bless you based off what you give freely. Now, I'm not saying don't charge. I'm not saying don't look for a particular niche and a particular clientele to provide your services for. But what I am telling you is whenever God puts it on your heart to share the wisdom and the knowledge that you've been given, that is a part of protecting your legacy. And that is a part of building the next generational wealth. Because check this out. What happens when everybody in your household is knowledgeable and wealthy and they got it going on, but your kids want to be friends with people who ain't got it? What do you do then? What do you do then when the kids and the people who you are assigned to don't look like you? See, there were young ladies that I remember mentoring that did not have the same knowledge and wisdom that I was raised with. See, my mama Kelly didn't play. Okay, every Saturday morning we was getting up in the morning. She was playing her Saturday music and we was cleaning up. We was washing, we was folding, we was wiping down walls, we was cleaning up borders, we was folding up tiles, we was cleaning up bathrooms, we was cleaning up our room. Then we can go outside. There was an order that Kelly gave us. And I don't know how you grew up, but if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about protect your crown. Because as women and men, I hear a lot of people going around now, hey, queen, hey, king. But do we protect each other's crowns? Are you protecting your own crown? You know, this is the trending thing of hey, king, hey, queen. Okay, it's one thing for us to express that verbally, but are you actually protecting the king and the queens that are in your life? Are you protecting the legacy that our ancestors have built in times past? Are you even protecting the legacy that your parents left? See, if you had parents like mine that worked, they weren't wealthy, they weren't rich, they didn't leave us, no big amount of money. They didn't leave us with monetary this or any of those things, but what they did leave us with was wisdom, knowledge, work ethic. They left us with class. They left us with knowing who we are, knowing where we come from, knowing where we're going, knowing what you need to build, knowing what my grandmother was the daughter of a slave. My grandma Liz would clean up, and she would tell us stories about how, men that would rape them, their own men that would rape them because of the traumas that they felt. And see, I'm going to tell you something. Trauma, past to trauma only equals more generational trauma. And see, a lot of us don't want to have these real ninja conversations because we want to talk about what we did last night. And we want to talk about who's screwing who and who got the bag and who making it poppin'. Did you see this on social media? But we're not talking about real life conversations that's going to help us as families, because we get comfortable in our traumas. We get comfortable with not wanting to be better. And see, then we get envious of our brother and our sister who is protecting their crown, who is walking with their heads up high and their shoulders back. See, we get envious and prideful when we see the people that we once knew, grew up with, or we walking along with. Now they're walking in their purpose and they're enjoying their passions. And we get mad at that because we weren't protecting our crown. We got lazy with our health. We don't want to get up and go and fight for things. I had to tell my son the other day, hey, son, I taught you to get out here and go get it. So go get it. You don't get to say, oh, well, this, that, and the third, when you know you have the skills equipped to go out and make things happen for yourself. See, a lot of us are waiting for people to make things happen for us when we shouldn't be waiting at all. We should be able to go out and make things happen, not only because we have the ability to do it, but we saw our ancestors do it with nothing. They didn't have no Instagram to show off their skills and talents. They didn't cry if massa didn't like what it was that they was doing. They didn't stop their inventions or their innovative thinking or their creativity because they didn't have but 3 likes. You owe your ancestors and your family and your children and your children's children to come to protect your crown at all costs. Anytime that I felt like my crown was slipping, or anytime that my friends, my real friends, people that genuinely love me, anytime they saw me falling off the bandwagon, hey, Zsa, come on now, this ain't you. What you got going on? How can we help you? And if you don't got friends like that, that's looking out for you in a way where they saying, now you usually get yourself together. Now you ain't usually, what's going on with you? See, because if you really protecting your crown and the crown of others, then you're also paying attention to the people you're connected to. See, I recognize out of my relationships and my friendships and people that I work with and people that I partner with, when they are off, when their crown is slipping, when they are not their normal selves. And this is why we got to pay attention. See, when you recognize that somebody is not their normal self, it don't mean you talk to them every day. I got a friend, she just lost her grandfather. And I know how important her grandfather was to her and how detrimental her losing her grandfather was. And at the end of the day, it's not my due diligence to just pray for her. Because, y'all saints, y'all love to say, oh, I'm praying for you. Are you really? Are you really praying for the people you say you praying for? Because I remember when I lost my father to suicide. My father killed himself, and I talk about this all the time. And if you've been following me, you've been listening to me, and you know anything about me, I'm very transparent about the things that have happened in my life. But when my father committed suicide the day after Thanksgiving, and we had to have his service, I got up and I stood before the congregation at Zion Hope Missionary Baptist Church on the east side. Okay. on the east side off Van Dyke. And I think that's Mount Elliott, something like that. But we was on the east side. My dad, east side ninja. You know what I'm saying? My mama was a west side queen, and I'm a Detroit girl, made with love. But I got up at my father's funeral and I said, don't tell us that you're praying for us. Actually pray for us. Don't tell us that if there's anything that we need to call you, because we're probably going to call you because we're kids and we're probably going to need your help. So don't get up here and tell us anything that you do not mean. This is one of the reasons why I don't promise things that I know I cannot fulfill. See, a lot of us, we put our mouth ahead of the horse and ahead of the carriage when we really have to examine our own lives before we make promises that we know we can't keep. Anything that you know you can do in your life, be a woman or a man of your word and follow through on it. Because you can't protect somebody else's crown and look out for somebody else's well-being and look out for somebody else's project and look out for somebody else's creativity and their innovativeness. But God gave you something and you lacking on your own stuff. See, when I look at people that want to partner with me, I look at what they did with their own stuff. What you do with your stuff. I recently had to walk away from a young lady that I was really looking forward to working with. And the only reason why I had to walk away from working with this particular individual because they weren't a woman of their word. And see, if you're going to work with me, if you're going to build anything with a woman like me who's assertive, who says what she means and means what she says, you are going to have to fulfill that same obligation. See, sometimes there are people who want to half-ass loving you and give you a portion of a relationship when you deserve the whole thing. Why would I settle for a half of a birthday cake when I know that I deserve a whole birthday cake? Nobody's ever been served with a half of a cake. Did you get a birthday cake and half of it was cut off and your birthday candles was already lit? And here you go with the birthday cake talking about happy birthday to you. You're going to be looking like, what kind of birthday cake is this? You gonna want the cake with the whole trimmings. You're going to want the new candles on it. And you're going to want the whole trimming. And see, I'm at a place right now. I told y'all last week, if it ain't all the way 100, I don't want it. Because I can't love you and give you 100% of me and then only allow you to give me 45% of you. That's not fair. Now watch this. You ready for this? And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about protect your crown. Watch this. No relationship is going to be 50-50 at all times. But at least I value you and love you enough to know that when you're not giving me your full, it's only because you're not in a state of mind, emotions, physically, spiritually to give me 100. See, when my mom was dying, I couldn't give everybody the cheery and the happy Zsa Zsa that people were used to because my mind was so wrapped around making sure that my mother was comfortable, making sure that my siblings got to school, making sure that I was still being a mother to my son, making sure that I was still being proactive in my job, making sure that I was still mentoring my mentees. Now that I have things that people are waiting for me, now that I have other obligations, and see, when people know what you are capable of, they don't allow you to settle for less. When they know what you deserve, they don't allow you. People that love you, they're not going to allow you to settle for the bootleg when you deserve the main thing. See, it was easy for us to get bootleg DVDs and watch them, because we wasn't going to go get the real DVD. My mom, we would go to, the store, the beauty supply store. You will see the man out there, DVDs for sale, got them CDs, DVDs. And we'd get, my mom, she would patronize the young black man and get 5 of them DVDs just so we could watch the movie. But see, the value wasn't in the DVD. The value was in the movie my mother wanted to see. And so although she couldn't afford to take us all to the movies, she could afford to get us the DVD the value was still in us being together. The value was still being able to say, my kids and I watched a movie. But see, some of us put value on things that actually have no value. You putting value on materialistic things when those things can be replaced. But then you don't put value on the relationships that you should put value on. See, you can replace a TV, but you can't replace an auntie. You can replace a vehicle, but you can't replace your grandma. You can replace some clothes, but you can't replace a sister or a brother. You can replace a partner, but you cannot replace your brain. See, and this is why protecting your crown is so important. See, there are certain relationships that I don't want back. There are certain conversations that I'm not about to entertain because I don't want that in my presence. See, there was a story in the Bible about it, the prodigal son. And the prodigal son had got all this money and he went off and did his thing. He said, you know, Dad, I want to do my thing. I want to get out here. I want to live my best life. And see, when the prodigal son went out to live his best life, he noticed that he was already living his best life. He did all of what he wanted to do. He partied, had a good time, spent all his money, and ended up eating slop with the pigs. And although the father gave him the ability and the freedom to go live his best life, the father also knew you don't belong out there with the pigs. And see, when you have value, when people that love you value you, when your father, your mother value you, when your friends value you, they're not going to let you just be anywhere. There were certain people, they probably don't like me. They probably was mad at me, but there were certain things that I didn't let my siblings do, not because I didn't feel like they couldn't do it, but because I valued them enough to say, hey, fix yourself up. But see, there are certain friends that like you being drunk and sloppy. And they like you being broke and uneducated. See, there are some people in your life that get fed off of you being the least. See, it was cool when I didn't have it, and now I got it, and now it's she thinks she's somebody. Yeah, I do. I think I'm somebody that's working very hard to get to where I need to be in life. And see, when you have people who value what you bring to the table, know you have a table to bring, know you got a table and chairs to bring to the table, they are going to value what you bring and they're going to big you up. Will Smith said, you want to find people that's going to feed your flame, not put it out. And anybody that's dogging you, that you know is dogging you or causing problems in your life, they're not your people. Even if you got the same blood running through your veins, even if y'all have the same relatives, them are not your people. Because what I've learned in this time past is that when you're an innovator, when you're a creator, when God is giving you a passion and a purpose, you don't have time to entertain slop with the pigs. Until the prodigal son came to himself and said, you know what? I wasn't raised to be out here kicking it amongst the peons. I wasn't born to live like this. I know God gave me something and a life that's better. See, sometimes we look at our situation and we think this is all that we gonna have. But God is pushing us and pulling us for more, but we can't get to the more until we stop dealing with other people less. You can't get to the more until you stop dealing with some of these jokers a lot less. See, it was some conversations and some people God had to rid me of, some relationships that I thought meant me well, that God said, no, baby, I know the conversations they having about you. You don't know, but I do. That feeling that you feeling about somebody feeling some type of way while you around, that feeling ain't there for no reason. That's a spirit telling you something is off. That's an energy and a vibe that's telling you the frequency and where I'm at is off. You ever been in a room and you could tell something off? Either y'all been talking about me or y'all was waiting to see what I looked like when I came through the door. I know y'all been in a room where y'all done felt it. I feel it. Because I'm an empath, I feel things that I don't want to feel. But usually 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, it's usually true. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Stop acting brand new, because that's the problem. You know I'm walking around with my crown, just like I know you walking around with yours. But in order for us to continue to build our kingdoms, and in order to continue to build generational wealth, we have to support and uplift one another. See, a lot of you got too much hate running through your veins to even want to help somebody. And see, then when you turn around and you need the help, now you looking real crazy because the people you thought you could depend on, you can't even depend on. This is why I tell people all the time, karma doesn't have an expiration date. You don't know when you're going to get your get back. You don't know when the atmosphere in the universe is going to get you for doing what you did to other people. This is why I walk a very fine line. I acknowledge the wrong I do. We going to talk about it. We going to heal from it. We going to learn from it. Oh, okay, you don't want to do that? You want to be stuck there? Okay, well, I'm going to let you be stuck there by yourself because I got to move on. I got other stuff on the other side of these problems, which is purpose, which is solutions. And see, there are some people in your life that are problem generated. All they ever want to talk about or see are the problems. They're not solution driven. And if they were solution driven, they're going to walk the solution that they talked. See, there are a lot of people that don't walk it like they talk it. They doing a lot of talking, but they ain't walking what they talk. See, I always wanted to make sure that I was a woman of my word, and that when I made promises and did things that I said I was going to do, either I'm going to tell you I can't because I want you to understand where I'm coming from, or I'm going to operate the way that I need to operate. But see, a lot of us do a lot of this, and we ain't doing a lot of this. I wanted my son to understand how important it is to go out and become the man that you did not see growing up. I told my son, I want you to be the man. Yeah, your father may not have been the man that we needed him to be. He can't be a father to you because he's still being a boy to his mom. It's going to be hard for other generations to actually stand on their own 2 feet if the generation before them is still crawling. See, you can't still be crawling trying to teach somebody how to walk. That's not how that works. You got to already be walking to be able to teach somebody who's crawling, who's scooting. When my son learned how to walk, he was scooting. He would scoot with one leg, and then he would pull himself up on stuff. And it wasn't until my cousin and my brother decided, we're going to teach you how to walk today. But in order for them to teach him how to walk, they had to also know how to walk themselves. This is why, in order for you to protect your crown, you have to learn from people who are already walking upright with theirs. See, you can't learn how to carry your crown with somebody who's constantly fumbling theirs. I don't get advice about relationships and how to own and operate certain things from people who ain't doing it. I don't get my wisdom from people who trying to figure it out, because that's where I'm at. I'm in the figuring it out stage. So would I be smart to get advice from people that's trying to figure it out like me? Or would I be smart to find somebody who's carrying their crown? They own their crown. They know who they are. They're not persuaded by other people's opinions. They're not fumbling the bag. They're not flaky. They're not wishy-washy. They're not double-minded and unstable in all their ways. They walking and they talking the talk. Those are the people that you have to be around in order to get to the next level in life and in order to make sure that your crown stays on. See, there are some people that you were around who jeopardized your crown. This is one of the reasons why I've always been mindful of the friends that my son had, because I don't want nobody jeopardizing my son's crown, because I know what I had to go through going into the prison, seeing my father, going into the prison, seeing my uncle, going into the prison, seeing my brothers, going into the county jail downtown, going to Frank Murphy and going to the courts. And like I tell y'all each and every week, I'll be damned if it's mine. So I made sure that when I talked to my son, I had him to understand who he is as a young man, who he is as a black man, who he is as Tayshawn, my son, who he is as a black man from Detroit, who he is as a black man from Michigan, who he is as a black man living in America, who he is as a black man knowing that his ancestors come from Africa. Who he is, knowing what enslavement meant. So in order for me to take my son and allow him to understand who he is as a young man, I also had to teach him who he is and where he comes from. This is why it's so important for you to understand who you are. You're not going to be jealous of somebody else that's moving right along. Because what you do know is that we all need to have a place in certain areas. See, I'm a believer that if I have my people in high places, that means I'm in high places too. See, if you know you got a team of people who are in places that you may not be able to reach, you have more of a solidified backbone to know I got people on the other side. I got people in high places. See, it's not enough for you to be like, oh, she trying to do this or he trying to do that, because that means that your mindset is small. When you got a small mindset, you envious and prideful of your brother and your sister who's progressing, who's doing things that you may want to do or trying to do, but it's not up to you to be envious and prideful. It's up to you to big them up. And see, we got a problem when it comes to fixing each other's crown, because somebody's crown has more jewels than another person's crown, but we all got one on. So what's the problem with you adoring and having adoration for my crown and me having adoration for yours? There's not one single person on earth that I'm envious or jealous of. You know why? Because if you really my brother or my sister, whether it's in Christ, whether it's in the community, whether it's in the industry, whether it's just you being black and I'm black, if we've ever crossed paths and we were able to big each other up, that's the frequency that we need to stay on. But the minute that you are around people who can't find themselves doing that, who find themselves wanting to bring you down or be in conversations that are about bringing you down, I'm good. I want people that's going to protect me and protect my crown. Protect me when I'm not in the room. Big me up when I'm not in the room. Understand that I'm able to be successful in certain opportunities that although you meet the requirements for, you know my name is attached to it. Because this is the thing. Protecting your crown means you're representing yourself and the people that are connected to you. Have you ever seen somebody that misinterprets us as black people? All black people ain't the same. Everybody that was rocking bonnets on the airplane wasn't hood rats. But then you got to understand something. What they saw was hood rats and bonnets doing hood rat stuff. So when you saw another black woman in a bonnet, you didn't think, oh, she's a lawyer. Oh, she has her own business or a CEO. The first thing that you think is, oh, here come a hood rat with a bonnet on. Because that's what has been affiliated and equated with that. It's just like a young man with a do-rag and sagging pants. The first thing that you think about that is not, oh, that young man must be an athlete. He must be a scholar. No, you think, oh, here come this Negro. He must be this, he must be that. Because we anticipate negative verbiage to certain lifestyles. And this is why you got to walk up right as royalty. This is why you got to know who you are. This is why you can't be hanging out with the slops and the pigs and just doing and rocking and being any place and doing anything, because now you become affiliated with that kind of lifestyle. I remember it was a girl that lived on my block when I grew up off Joy Road, and she was a hoe. She was a hoe. Yeah, she was. She had sex with all the boys on the block. All the boys on the other blocks, and me and her were friends. And what happened, I found myself getting this eerie feeling. Have you ever had a feeling when you're around somebody and they don't represent what you represent? You like them, they cool with you, but you don't represent what they represent. It's like somebody who smokes squares, right? And you in the car, but you don't smoke squares. And you don't really want to smell like cigarettes either, because even when y'all depart and somebody smell you, they gonna think, what? You smoke cigarettes, right? So my homegirl was a hoe, and I would tell her, like, why don't you just go get you a boyfriend, or why don't you go do this? And she would hear me, but some things are in some people because of how they were raised. And if you got a parent that's a hoe, you got a sibling that's a hoe, guess what? All you're around is hoish behavior. So what does your future look like? It's looking real whorish, right? So I had to understand people are going to start equating her lifestyle with mine. And I'm not a hoe, okay? I didn't have sex with none of the niggas from my hood on purpose. Could I have? Sure could. But I chose not to be community booty because there was enough community booty in the hood. So I wanted to be set apart, different. I didn't care if they thought I was the smarty pants, and I didn't care if they thought I was the goody two shoes. I didn't care whatever thought process that they wanted to affiliate me with, because I didn't want to be affiliated with that type of lifestyle. And see, the term birds of a feather flock together is real. If this person is shiesty, guess what they gonna think? You shiesty, and everybody that's affiliated with you is shiesty. And don't let somebody who don't like you create these obstructions and these problems for you, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be representing Black excellence. And when you are affiliated with people who don't represent Black excellence, that makes you look bad. That makes your brand look bad. That makes what your building look bad. It don't mean that you don't want, it don't mean that they a bad person or they bad people. It just means that what you doing and what I'm doing, they don't affiliate. There was a young lady I was working with earlier in 2021. Really cool person, love her with all my heart and soul. But what I'm trying to build and what you're doing don't match. And if it don't match, then I can't be affiliated I can't have you as an acquaintance of mine, because what you're building, what I'm building ain't the same. See, it only becomes frustrating in relationships. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Relationships only become difficult when y'all are not walking the same path. When y'all are not walking the same path of excellence. Marriages don't work when people don't want their marriage to work. Relationships don't work when the people don't want the relationship to work. Partnerships don't work when the partners don't want the partnership to work. Stuff doesn't have to be complicated. It only becomes complicated when people are not on the same page. When you have a perspective of what family looks like, and I got a perspective of what family looks like, we ain't on the same page. If you have a perspective of what friendship looks like, and I have a mindset of what friendship looks like, we ain't on the same page. This is why when I have my clients, and I have clients who want to open up businesses, and I have clients who want to start a nonprofit, and I have clients who want me to marry them, I tell them all the time, what is your motivating factor? What's your mission? What's your vision? What's the purpose behind you doing what you're doing? Because if you don't have a purpose behind you talking about your family member, if you don't have a purpose for causing obstruction in somebody else's life, if you don't have a purpose behind knocking somebody else's crown down, why are you doing it? There has to be a motive. And see, this is one of the reasons why I love God. I love God so much. I love God so much because He loves me for being me, 100% wholeheartedly me. I ain't trying to be like nobody else other than Zsa Zsa Hubbard, okay? I love God so much because God does not look at what I've done to disqualify me for what He's going to do in my life. I love God because despite how you may feel about me, I am not disqualified for the blessings because you don't like me. See, this is why people got to have their own relationship with God, and you got to have your own crown and understand your royalty. You got to understand where you come from, because if you understand where you come from, you also understand that God is going to still give you your benefits, your blessings. He's going to still catapult you to where you need to be, despite how somebody else feels about you. Because God watches how your heart moves. He watches your intent with your heart. He knows your intent behind even the bad things that you've done in life. See, there are some things that you've done in life that were bad. You knew they were bad, but you didn't do them intentionally because you wanted to. It's like when I was a manager at Myers, and I would catch people, not me per se, but as a manager, I would have to go in a room when loss prevention would find people who have stolen or would catch people who would steal. And I never forget, this gentleman came in and he stole a small loaf of bread. He stole some, I don't know if it was like some peanut butter or something, and he stole some jam because he was just wanting to make some sandwiches. And I told them, we're not going to write this man up. What we're going to do is we're not going to call the police because this man clearly just wanted some food to eat. I'll pay for the food. Don't come back in here stealing or they're going to take you to jail. Okay? Now, this man didn't steal because, he wanted to be a thief. Because if he wanted to be a thief, guess what? He would have stole gym shoes. He would have stole something that was of value that he could resell if he was looking to be a thief. But no, he was looking to steal because he was hungry. Didn't mean that what he was doing was right. It just meant that, okay, does this person really intend to do something malicious? Or was he just trying to get something to eat? And this is why God looks at our hearts and not look at it in the way that man does, because man will throw you away. Oh, she ain't no good. He ain't no good. Yeah, they did something in 1997 that we can't even forget. And we can't forget. Oh, yeah, and when they did that in 2014, yeah, they the same person. Oh, don't let me tell you what they did in 2020. Oh, my God. That's not how God operates. God operates with the intent behind your heart and why you do what you do. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you saying what you're saying? And if it don't match up with what God knows about this scenario, because see, this is one of the things that I also love about God. God sits high and he looks low, beholding the good and the evil. He don't just look at all the goody two shoes. He looking at the evil ones too. This is why people think that they're getting away with certain things because they don't get reprimanded or they don't get attacked right away, or they don't get what they deserve right away, or the karma don't hit them right away. It don't mean that it won't. It don't mean that it won't. I had people dogging me out. I mean, they dogged me out so bad I felt like I was in the slop with the pigs. But see, this is the thing. God is a redeemer. Not only is he a redeemer of your name, but he's a redeemer of time. He'll give you back time you thought you missed out on and thought you lost. Let me tell you something. My son is in college. I get to live my best life. You know why? Because God is redeeming my time. He saw how hard I worked as a woman, how hard I worked as a mother, how hard I worked as an employee to set up what I was trying to set up for my family. And at the end of the day, God says, I'm going to bless you despite people cursing you. I'm going to bless you despite how people feel about you. And see, when you are protecting your crown and you're uplifting other people's crown, because see, I uplifted a lot of people's crowns. I helped out a lot of people keep their crown on their head. I encouraged and empowered and infused strength and resilience into a lot of people. And God is not going to allow me to go unblessed because he knows the sacrifices that I made for others, even when others didn't know the sacrifices that I was making for them. And this is why there are certain things about people, and I look at them and I say, how are you a representative of Christ? How are you a representative of Black excellence? How are you a representative of protecting Black men and protecting Black women and protecting families when you do your own family dirty? How are you a representative of Black Lives Matter when you are willing and able to do somebody in that didn't do nothing to you? So I'm always mindful of, do those things really matter? Because at the end of the day, you know, when you're a representative, when you are representing, when you are an ambassador, when you are an influencer of something, that means that you are the face of it. When LeBron was on the commercial with Nike, when Michael Jordan was on the front of the Wheaties box, He was the face. They were the face of this brand. And if you walking around here talking about you God's chosen and you blessed and highly favored and you are God's chosen, that is also insinuating that you are a representative of Christ. And if you are going to be a representative of anything and anybody, walk and talk like it. When your children go off to school or your family members go off and do their thing and they don't represent the family and the brand in which they are, what do? You check them. That ain't what I taught you, son. That ain't what I taught you, daughter. Where you learn this from? You didn't get this from me. And so when you are saying or claiming that you are a representative of somebody, you're a representative of a company, you're a representative of a brand, walk and act like it. Every day I get up, whether it's going to the store, the gas station, I come in my best. You know why? Because I don't know who I'm going to meet at the gas station. I don't know who I'm going to meet at the store. And see, when you operate in excellence and Black excellence, knowing that you are a representative of your ancestors, you are a representative of your parents, you are a representative of yourself. Have some more self-pride about who you are. I see girls and guys all the time, t-shirt all dirty. You at work with a bonnet on. Pull your hair to the back. Lay them baby hairs down, even if your ponytail ain't about that big. At least put a little African wrap or something on. Make yourself look presentable. Walk as if you are the sugar honey iced tea, because you are. And you don't let nobody else make you feel less than, even if you have less than them. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are people who have more than you, but are still intimidated by the people who have less than them. I know so many people who have more than me financially, but they are still intimidated. And see, money doesn't change intimidation. That's just like money doesn't change a person who's insecure. Money doesn't change what's going on in you internally. It just makes you look better. It allows you access to different things. It allows you to be able to move in a different way that other people cannot move. But I know people who ain't got nothing and they are so confident within themselves. And I know people who have it going on from the outside looking in, but they are extremely insecure. They are extremely egotistical. And when you know who you are, you know where you come from, you're not persuaded by the materialistic things. Because I'm going to tell you something. There is a season of prosperity, and then there's also a season of drought. Y'all know, for y'all weed smokers out there, you knew before it became illegal, before it became legal and it was illegal, you knew when it was weed on the floor and when it was a drought. What would they say? Oh man, ain't nothing going on out here. It's a drought out here in these streets. I ain't lying. Ain't that what we say? It's a drought out here. But see, when you understand the seasons that you're in, you understand that there are going to be some seasons where you're going to have all W's. You're going to be winning. Bye. Win after win. And there's no reason why nobody should be upset with your season of winning. Then there are going to be some seasons where you're going to be tested. Test after test after test. Some tests you're going to pass. Some tests you're going to fail. Then there's going to be a season of losing. There's going to be some seasons of losing where not only you're going to feel like you done lost your mind, you're going to lose some people, you're going to lose some weight, you're going to lose some physical weight, some emotional weight, some financial weight. There are going to be seasons in your life where you're going to win and it's going to feel good. And it's going to be some seasons in your life where you're going to be tested and it's going to frustrate you. And it's going to be some tests you're going to pass with flying colors that you ain't even going to think twice about. And then there are going to be some seasons in your life where you're going to lose. You're going to lose some sleep. You're going to lose some tears. That does not mean drop your crown. That don't mean put your crown on the ground. There are going to be some wins in your life, some tests in your life, and some losses in your life. And throughout all of those seasons in your life, you still are going to have to wear your crown. Let me tell you something. As a mother, there were some seasons in my life where my son, listen, he was profound. He was busting out 3.0s. And then there was some seasons in my son's life where he was busting out some 1 points, some 2 points. And I had to say, son, what you going through? What's happening here? And then there were some seasons in my life where we were both tested. I was tested as a mother. I was tested as a woman. I was tested as a Black person in general. And right now, the season that he's in, he's being tested. And see, as a woman who's dealt with wins and losses and tests, it is my due diligence to prepare him as a parent. This is why we have to be mindful of who we have around our children. Because if your children's people, friends, affiliates, jobs, if their voices are stronger than yours as a parent, you're going to lose. You should be able to be transparent enough with your child, transparent enough with the people around you, so that they can continue to uplift you in times when you are weak. See, there are going to be times when you can protect your crown yourself, and then there are going to be times where you're going to need people to protect the crown for you because they understand the value in which you carry. There is something valuable that you carry. And see, we also have to learn to give credit where credit is due. You can't be the person. Don't be the person that knows people are doing some great things and you don't want to acknowledge that they're doing some great things. There are some people that are around us that are doing some great things, and it's not okay for us to know that they're doing great things and shun them. We are here to uplift one another. And if you're not up here uplifting people, let me tell you something. If the people that are around you aren't uplifting you, they're not your people. And if you are out here uplifting all of these people and they are not reciprocating that energy back to you, then you need to find some new people to be around. Because people who genuinely love you and want to see you win, guess what? They're going to put you in a position to win. Whether it's sharing your stuff, liking your stuff, showing up to your stuff, or just merely just saying a prayer for you, giving you a donation. There are some people that didn't get a chance to show up to some of my events. And guess what? They sent me a donation. You know why? Because there's value there. And you also got to know that there are certain delays that happen in your life because of your discipline. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about protect your crown. There are some things in your life that get delayed because of your lack of discipline. See, there are some things that I have to finish, and I got to finish them. But I won't finish them if I'm not disciplined enough to get it done. See, you can't get mad because you see the growth in other people and you see other people prospering because you're not disciplined enough to focus on your craft. The minute that you become disciplined, the minute that God will stop your delays. See, there are some things that God didn't delay for me because I was ready. I had everything that I needed for the next level. So God gave me the green light. But because there were some instances that I wasn't ready and I felt like I was ready, right? How many of us feel like we ready? God, what you waiting on? I'm ready. Press go. The light green. But God said, no, we're not going to put it in drive yet. See, there are some situations in our life where God is going to keep us at the red light until he knows that we're ready to go. There are some things that he will postpone. It doesn't mean that God don't want you to have it. It doesn't mean that God won't allow it to come to pass. But it does mean that he's going to delay it until you get into a place of discipline or your team, right? Because you are a reflection of the people that are around you. And see, God knows your team. He knows the conversations that people are having. He knows the intent behind why people do what they do. He knows the intent behind why people stay connected to you. And see, there are some things that you are going to have to know about your camp. And you're also going to have to know your limits. There are some people that will push you to your limits because they see the greatness in you. And then there are some things about you that you're going to have to know about yourself to not get you so stressed out. When you know that there's a limit, I also know there are certain trigger words that trigger me, that put me on edge. When you learn that about you, you also understand, okay, I'm at my wit's end, or this is as far as I can go with this until I need to fall back. And see, a lot of us let our pride and our ego get in the way because we think that we can handle it, right? Right? We think, oh, I can handle it. I could do it. But in actuality, you can't. And so it doesn't mean that you can't handle it forever. It just means that at this particular time, this is too much. So you got to know your limits. I remember raising my siblings and we had all these bills. And I kept saying these exact words. Y'all can go live with y'all dad. You can go get your own place. And me and Tayshawn will be good. Because I'm at my wit's end. These bills are overtaking me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm being stressed out. And see, when we become honest with ourselves, you're not ready to go smoke a cigarette. You're not ready to go get a drink. You're not ready to go cut somebody out. You're not ready to go get something that's going to deal with calming your nerves down. You know why? Because you are honest with who you are. You say, I know my limits, and I'm at my limit. When you know your limit, you are able to have peace of mind. See, when you don't have peace of mind, it's because you've allowed something that you knew you shouldn't allow. You have taken on too much, right? That you thought you could take on. Oh, I could take it on. No. I found myself saying yes to things that I knew I should have been saying no to. No, I can't. I can't be there. I can't do it. And see, a lot of us, we have this habit of not wanting to let people down. But then you let yourself down because now you've overwhelmed yourself. And now you can't be at your best self because now you're dealing with, I've taken on too much. And see, knowing who you are is important. Knowing who you are is more important than what you do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as you can see, during this pandemic and dealing with COVID, a lot of us were caught up in our places of employment that end up having to get shut down. A lot of us were caught up in our job titles that no longer exist. A lot of us were caught up in our products and our services that we had to minimize because of the situations that we're in. It is so valuable and most important to know who you are opposed to knowing what you do, because what you do can change. Knowing what you do can change, but knowing who you are doesn't. Evolving into who you are, that's going to happen on a regular basis. Knowing who you are is important, way more important than knowing what you do, because what you do changes. Today, you may want to be an entrepreneur. Tomorrow, you may want to be an artist. The next day, you may want to be an engineer. Things change according to our life circumstances. You may want to be a stay-at-home mom one year. You may want to be a stay-at-home dad. Your physical capabilities may hinder you from being able to do things that you were able to do last year that you're not able to do this year. Us having COVID, all of us who had it hindered us from being able to maneuver and go and do certain things. So life circumstances can change. But knowing who you are, more important than knowing what you do, is your task at hand. And not only that, but you want to leave a legacy and a mark. Because when you're dead and gone, you are dead and gone. You ain't coming back. You gone. And see, people who have not left a memory, who have not left a legacy, guess what? They'll just be a memory. People remember those people who left something to remember them by. People remember you when you are dead and gone because you gave us something to remember you by. If only people know you for being messy, being in mess, causing drama, causing confusion, only people know you is because you dress nice. The only reason why people know you is because you had all the chains and the Cardis. If people only know you because you was always caught up in stuff, that's your legacy. This is why you got to protect your crown. And if you're tuning in and listening to, yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. This is why it's important for you to represent yourself. There's a certain point in your life where now you are a representative of you. I told my son, while you in college, going for your college degree. I already did it. I was at Bowling Green with you trying to get a college education. And if you don't want to be there no more, guess what? That is a decision that's going to reflect you. Because now I have raised you all the way up until this point. I ain't going to leave you hanging, because as a young adult, there are still certain things that you don't know that you are going to need to know from your parent, from your loved one, from people who've already did it. And this is one of the reasons why I love when Kirk Franklin, when he said what he said and he did what he did to his son, because there's a certain type of mindset that you have to have when you are wearing your crown trying to help somebody else. You can only do so much until it's time for them to fly. You can only help your partner so much until it's now, did you learn what you learned? We've been partners all this time. You ain't learned nothing from me. You've been under my tutelage all this time. You ain't took what I've taught you. And so when you understand that, you understand how important it is to protect your crown. Listen, I love y'all. Make sure y'all follow me on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. You're listening to Yeah, I Said It, because before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, if you know anybody who's recently been engaged, I am a wedding officiant. I do have a venue space in downtown Detroit at the Historical Michigan Building where I will be officiating weddings for my couples, because I know a lot of couples got engaged over Valentine's Day, and I'm super duper excited for you and for the life that you're going to build with your loved ones. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about protect your crown, because if you don't protect your crown, nobody else will. And for those people who you genuinely love, if they're not helping you protect your crown and what you're building, those are not the people that's going to protect you. If you're protecting other people's crowns and they're not reciprocating that energy back to you, go find some people that do. Even if that's just one or two. Because I'm going to tell you something. You will be more blessed and more successful with less people and less problems than you would with more people, because more people brings more problems. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, and I know you heard me the first time. Listen, I love y'all. Until next week, peace.